Drivers typically view the horseshoe-shaped tire pressure monitoring icon as a dashboard annoyance. That light was actually mandated by federal law after 271 people died in a series of catastrophic highway accidents. The crisis centered on a clash between two icons of American industry, Ford Motor Company and Firestone tires. This warning system is a permanent reminder of the total collapse of a 100-year-old industrial alliance. The relationship began in 1896 and grew through decades of shared innovation and personal friendship between the founding families. Henry Ford relied on Firestone to provide the massive volume of tires required for his moving assembly lines. Harvey Firestone built his empire on that exclusive contract, creating a bond of trust that lasted nearly a century. In 1990, Ford introduced the Explorer. It was a runaway success, designed to bring truck-like utility to the suburban family market. To meet production deadlines, the Explorer was built on the narrow undercarriage of the Ford Ranger pickup, a frame never intended for a heavy SUV body. As this physics diagram demonstrates, the narrow track and heavy body created a high center of gravity. During evasive maneuvers, the Explorer was unstable and repeatedly rolled over during pre-production testing. With the launch date approaching, Ford engineers had to decide whether to redesign the chassis or find a workaround for the vehicle's stability issues. Rather than spending millions to widen the wheelbase, Ford implemented a mechanical compromise to lower the vehicle's height and soften the ride. They instructed every Explorer owner to deflate their Firestone tires to a cold pressure of 26 pounds per square inch. At 26 PSI, the tire flattens excessively under the SUV's weight. At highway speeds, the sidewalls flex and rebound, creating a massive buildup of internal heat called hysteresis. This temperature climbs until the chemical bonds holding the rubber to the steel belts disintegrate. Ford's solution for stability issues effectively turned the vehicle's tires into ticking thermodynamic hazards. The problem was compounded by manufacturing issues. Firestone's plant in Decatur, Illinois, was producing tires with documented defects in belt adhesion. When underinflation heat meant defective Decatur rubber, the tires suffered a tread separation. The outer layer peeled away from the steel belts like skin. When the tread peels off, the vehicle drops on one corner. The suspension destabilizes, losing steering control. For a top-heavy vehicle like the Explorer, this sudden swerve at highway speeds frequently led to a violent, catastrophic rollover. The resulting fatalities were the outcome of a chassis design that couldn't handle a tire failure, and a tire that couldn't survive the pressure Ford required. By the year 2000, federal investigators began linking hundreds of injuries and deaths to the Ford-Firestone combination, forcing a national crisis. The companies met in Washington for a series of hostile congressional hearings. Ford and Firestone executives swapped accusations on live television. Ford executives blamed Firestone entirely for the tire failures. They spent $3 billion on a massive replacement campaign and officially blacklisted Firestone as a supplier. Firestone fought back, presenting evidence that the Explorer was inherently unstable and that Ford's 26 PSI recommendation was the root cause of the heat-related failures. Confronted with the human and mechanical failures of their alliance, both companies used the public arena to shift the entire burden of legal liability onto the other. In response, Congress passed the TREAD Act. The law mandated new reporting requirements to prevent automakers from withholding defect data from the public. The TREAD Act also required every new passenger vehicle sold in the United States to be equipped with a real-time tire pressure warning system. This warning light is more than a convenience. It is a safety system designed to catch the thermal degradation that killed 271 people. Every time that amber icon appears on your dashboard, it is the result of a hard-learned lesson in the physics of underinflation and the dangers of corporate compromise. Subscribe to Archive World for more in-depth investigations, and tell us your thoughts on the Ford-Firestone fallout in the comments below.